on this copy. Okay, perfect. We are ready to get started. Let me know, Miss Jules, if you can help me today with the TA role. If you don't mind, remember this is optional. Just let me know. Okay. So let me announce officially that Miss Jules will be our TA today. Okay, last week we were talking about quality management. And I presented the example of the 698 migration, telling you how I did a quality assurance situation in my company at Cisco Systems. So I was explaining that quality management, it's about understanding the customer and fulfilling requirements. So you cannot fulfill the requirements of your customer if you don't know the customer. So the first thing that you need to do as soon as you get a new project is it's identify who is my customer. Remember that you can have external customers and internal customers in the organizations. So that's why I just identified Mr. Jesus immediately, because he was the vice president of sales in my company. So he was my customer. And based on that, on his requirements, I created the expectations. Remember that he said, okay, listen, I want you to sell $6.5 million. Remember, $6.5 million. Do whatever it takes to bring me that money to the company. So that's why I created my quality standards, data representation. I was tracking results. And at the end of the day, when I saw that we're very behind schedule in terms of money, I did this survey and questionnaire to the champions in Brazil, in Latam, in those countries, Uruguay, Paraguay, Argentina. And I was asking what happened? How can we do better as a team? So they provided for each one of those locations, they provided some ideas. So what I did was just do everything in black and white in 4-5 pages, no more than that. And I had the conversation with Mr. Jesus, who was responsible to authorize the organizational resources, money, people, whatever you need, let's say, it was approved by Mr. Jesus. So at the end of the day, we did it. So having said that, we are ready today just to move to resource management. And I remember that we covered a couple of ideas right here. So I'm going to provide an overview of some of the topics in resource management, and then just jump into the last page that I was talking about, I think, here in this process. So project resource management is about not only human resource, and I told you that, not only human resource, but also physical resources in place in order to implement or execute or create value on time, on quality, on budget. So for that, we're talking about develop the team, and I think we can jump immediately no, estimate activity. We did it this on number 2. So let me jump into acquired resources. So let me just stop sharing so I can jump directly to that process, the process number 3, acquiring the resource acquisition, resources acquisition. And remember, we are going to have a topic just about procurement management. And thank God we have an expert here, which is Miss Larissa. So I'm going to have fun because she will be helping me with a couple of concepts that maybe I'm not an expert in procurement management in terms of contracts and legal terminologies. That session is this Monday. All right. So the previous, let me okay. So let me just make sure we're jumping into exactly into the process that I was talking about the last class. Okay. So it was the role of project manager. So that was the page I was wrong. Okay, so having said that, when you are planning the human resource for your project, you need to know the role of each one of the key participants. So in this case, I remember that we were reading this page. So what is my role in project management? You and me as project managers, PM, we are responsible for the final product, meaning maybe you are not the person in charge to create the value to build the house, but you are responsible for the final results. So we are responsible for what the team is producing. So the outcome or the actual results, or I'm going to put here the final solution or the final service. So we are responsible for that service, product, result, solution, service. So you and me as project manager, okay, listen, I'm not creating that type because I'm not an expert. I don't have those technical skills, but still the organization is hiring you as a project manager so you can oversee and be in charge and watch and understand and track results, right? And supervise the execution. So that's our responsibility. So we need to take a holistic view of the product. That's something that we know in order to plan, coordinate, and complete the final products. And we said that last week. So we need to initiate, we need to listen, we need to coach, we need to work as a team, working member. We are sometimes facilitators. And we begin by reviewing the vision. So we need to understand the vision of the product and also the mission of this type of business, and make sure we are aligned with the organization, with the product and organization. So we need to, in terms of traditional project management, I know this is not an easy task. So thank God today we can understand agility. In agility, the project manager is just a facilitator. So we are the Scrum Masters, and this responsibility is going to be distributed, split into 3 in agility. So pay attention, this is a little weird, weird. In Agile, we have the product owner, we have the development team, and we have the Scrum Master. So every single bullet that you can see here in this page is going to be like distributed into the product owner, development team here, and the Scrum Master. So I don't want you to get confused right now. You don't need to take notes about that because it's very clear in another page coming up. So that is the role of project manager. When you see the sponsor, is this guy, it's providing the funds, financial resources, and also providing like the vision of the business, provides approval and funding for the project, endorses and defends the project. This person is like a leader in the organization, and of course provides the money, resources, people, equipment, and support that we need to move forward. That is the sponsor. When you see, that's a very general terminology. When you say business analyst, this is another traditional idea, because in agility, the product owner, it's doing the same type of role in agility. But just for traditional and predictive, remember that traditional equals waterfall equals predictive. A business analyst work with us, with you and me, with the project manager. That is very traditional, to identify and communicate with stakeholders, customers, investors. And this guy is responsible for gathering requirements and speak with the customers and understand stakeholders' needs, and any change, anything is going through the business analyst. So this guy, this person, BA, very popular, BA in traditional, review and analyze business trending and industry data or data. So this guy understands the business value, the trending, the vision, the market, the customers, the environment. So every single aspect of the business, this guy is an expert. So he knows how to calculate the benefits in terms of revenues and cost benefit and payback period, and which one is the best option and how we can make money. So when you see business analyst, it's about like 50% is about revenues and increment of the value, so business value in terms of finance. It's a liaison between various business departments and groups. So that is a business analyst in general terminologies. So now that we are finishing the process number one, something that I want to just to remind, because I think we spoke about this last week. In resource management, we have this output, which is the resource management plan. So I would like to ask Ms. Jules if you can help me selecting a volunteer for if someone can help us to read these 4 bullets. Ms. Jules, anyone that you can recommend or yourself?
Pamela, would you like to read?
And okay, there's the unmute button. Yes, plan resource management. Outputs resource management plan. Roles and responsibilities. Role. The function assumed by or assigned to a person in the project. Example, test coordinator, an analyst. Authority, the right to apply project resources, make decisions, sign approvals, accept deliveries. Responsibility, the assigned duties and work that a project team member is expected to perform in order to complete project activities. Competence, required skill, capacity, knowledge, and experience required to complete assigned activities.
Thank you so much. So when you see the word resource management plan, this document is part of the master project plan. And I think last week we are explaining Roxy chart. Let me just make sure, because I think we are duplicating here the reading. Let me just make sure we are on exactly on the right page, so we cannot like duplicate readings. Okay. Yes. Okay. So we are okay. We're finishing the process number one, which is, yes, part of the plan. All right. So let me go back and start sharing one more time. Give me 1 second. Let me do that. So yes, we are perfect. Thank you so much, Miss Pamela. So let me continue. So at the end of the day, as soon as you know that you have the plan on in terms of how many people you're going to use, how many equipments, how many, like, not only equipment, but also facilities, spaces, whatever you need. So you're ready just to estimate the activity resources. So having said that, this is one of the most important outputs on the process number 2. Process number 1 was planning. Process number 2, now it's estimating how many resources we need. So in terms of the exam, one document that we need to create at the end of this process number 2, is that number 1, the resource requirements, which is the types and quantity of resources you need for each activity. That was an output number 1. There's another one, which is this chart that I love it because it's very visual, and I love charts better than normal documents like writing and paragraphs. So the output number 2 of this process is the RBS. So pay attention to this terminology because it's very similar to the WBS. The WBS, that was a scope management. So WBS, it's work breakdown structure. That is a scope, right? But now RBS is resource breakdown structure. So don't get confused, because in project management, we have a couple of WBS, RBS, resource breakdown structure. We have risk breakdown structure. So don't get confused when you see RBSs all over the places for the exam. So the RBS is the representation of resources by category and type. So in this case, you are including every single type of resource you need for the project. So I can just thinking about the room makeover for Miss Lisette and Miss Larissa. You are going to need maybe 2 people to help, which is you, Miss Lisette and Miss Larissa. So you need people helping you to organize. Maybe you need some materials like furniture, like decorations, like the desk. Maybe you need some tools, like how you say martillo, Lisa, like
Hammer.
yes, like a hammer, like painting, like paint, like whatever you need. like rocks or let me check, let me see, like books to put it in a beautiful shelf, whatever, that's our material. However, you maybe will need some type of equipments. So having said that, this is the only chart that you can include everything, human and not human. So here's the people, and you can separate by category. So we have people, material, and equipment. So I need to create like a gazebo. So I need one person expert doing the roof, so and so on. So you have roll number one, roll number two, roll number three, and here material number one, number two. So this is very general, but you can think about your specific project. For example, animal welfare guidelines for Mr. George, and thing number three, maybe you don't need, yes, you need computer to create. You need material, maybe the ink for the printer if you want to create a book. And personal is only you guys to create the guidelines. So I was just thinking about you guys how to apply this chart for your beautiful projects. What is that, said? This is the RBS, resource breakdown structure. So keep that in mind. So what are the two outputs of the estimated activity resources? Number one, resource requirements, which is the types and quantity, and also the representation of resources by category and type. So having said that, I want you to think about this question. I'm going to copy and paste this link into the chat on Zoom chat, so you can practice after the class or during the class. You can go, and Miss Jules, let me know if you can see the link and you can open the link that I'm providing for the practice exams for this topic.
Sorry, I thought I was unmuted. I see the link and it works.
Okay. So Miss Taina is having some issues. Okay, she'll be back. Okay.
Yeah, she's having connectivity issues. She told me when we were in the breakout room.
Okay. Okay, no problem. All right, so let me know if you think it's A, B, or C. Anyone, just put in the chat. Let me check your responses. Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, I can see you are here with me. So yes. So let me check Miss Pamela, Miss Lucejo's George. All right. So of course the answer is this one. Remember that this is the type of technique that you need to use to pass the exam. Sometimes just eliminations. It's not communication artifact. It's nothing about communication. So that is the one that is not just that very straightforward technique to pass the exam. All right. The process number three, and we're almost done because this is just an overview, and I'm going to jump before the break, I think, into the how to use Gamma for the final project. So the process number three, it's acquire resources. This is very self-explanatory process. It's when you need to get the right people and the right materials assigned to the project. That's acquiring resources. Very straightforward. Nothing confusing. It's not tricky at all. It is what it is for the exam. So three things that we need to know is that some of the tools that we need in order to get the resources in terms of human resource in this case is pre-assignment, negotiation, or acquisition. Sometimes you cannot select the person you want. Based on my experience, there will be a couple of guys, some very good people, good experts, very, I'll say, effective and productive experts in the organization that all the time they are busy. So, oh my goodness, look, I'm sorry, listen, I cannot give you, cannot assign Miss Teresa to work with you, Miss Lise, but I can assign Mr. Peter, for example. That is pre-assigned, nothing to do. Oh my goodness, you cannot select the person you want. But sometimes you need to speak with the manager. Remember that we're talking about a cross-functional organization and they have another manager. So you're just doing like a cross-functional team. So sometimes you need to negotiate. Okay, I'm sorry. I need to know if you can assign me Miss Teresa because I want to work with her, whatever. So you need to, a couple of skills, negotiation skills, just to make sure you got the right person to work with you in that specific role. Sometimes internally we don't have the resources and we need to get from outdoors, from outside. It could be a consultant or a new employee. So acquisition is when you don't have the resources internally. Negotiation is when you have the resources internally, but you need to negotiate with the manager. And pre-assignment, it's when someone else is assigning this resource, this person to you, a specific project, to your specific project. So those are the 3 tools that you can use to get the human resource in this type of process. So every great coach, you and me, will tell that the secret to winning is having good players. So that's why everybody wants to work with this specific, very productive people in the organization. So when you see coach, it's project manager. When you see winning, it's about success. And good players, this is about team members. All right, this is a PMI in yellow, remember, for the exam. Some of the things that I learned about when you have a team is that you need to develop the team. So that's the process number 4. So when you got the team, you're not happy still, because at the beginning of the project, you will have a couple of issues. And those are the 5 stages. Please pay attention because this is a very, I'll say, very popular topic. Develop a team. It's about helping the team to be better. So based on this person, Tuckman, Mr. Tuckman, he said that every single team is going through 5 different stages, like stages on team development. So you want to improve productivity. However, at the beginning, everybody's happy. It's a forming stage. Pay attention because this is going to make sense. So at the beginning of the project, the day number 1, everybody's happy. Hey, hello, Lisette. My name is Lisette. How are you today? I'm very happy to be here. We are forming. We are very happy. Oh my goodness, this project is so awesome. I'm happy to work with you, whatever. However, after a couple of weeks, there's another stage. Please, I want you to pay attention. Let me know if you agree with me or this is only to me that happened to me. So after 2 weeks that you're starting getting results and asking for reports and results, now it's a little bit of a couple of conflicts here. Like Hella said, are you asking me for this report? And it has to be at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Why? Who do you think you are? Why are you asking for that? Like, who are you? That is a conflict stage, conflictive stage, storming. So norming, everybody's happy. Boom, I'm going to put a happy face here. I'm going to put a happy face. Hello, you're happy to be here. Storming, like we are confused. So what's supposed to do? Let's say, are you sure that I need to create that? Are you sure? Conflict. That is not good. However, the stage number 3, it's where at the end of the day, after 1 week, 1 more week, like approximately. Okay, I'm sorry. So we respect each other and we're going to be starting to be productive. So the stage number 4 is the best. I'm going to put another happy face, but really, really happy. Like with teeth, con diente y todo here, because performing is the best stage in team development process. Based on what? Based on Mr. Tuckman ladder, la escalera de Tuckman. That's like ladder. The final stage is when you finish the project and every single team member say goodbye. I'll see you next year. So the team is released after job completed. So having said that, just know this for the exam, that every single team is going to have like the process of team development. Forming, storming, here, storming, you see? Fighting. Norming, okay, Now I know that you are the guy. Tú eres el experto aquí. You know what you're talking about. So we respect each other and we recognize the abilities of other team members. That is norming. Performing is the best. Everybody's working together and collaborating. And adjourning, it's when you say goodbye. Okay, I want to know if you have any comments. You guys, you have experience working with teams, maybe Miss Lisette, Miss Jules, Mr. George. Any comment about those stages? You agree with that? Any comments, guys?
Yes, I agree.
That was Miss Jules.
Yes.
Yes. What about you, Miss Lisette? Any comments about those stages in team development? If that is that something that happened to you before? All right, Mr. George, any comments?
I don't know. I don't think I've had that much experience, but it makes sense.
Yeah, but I remember that yeah, that happened to me, but yeah, this is just talking a lot of theory. So yep, okay, let me continue because I'm going to ask for help. And now we're talking about how to increase team productivity. Another tool that PMI is recommending, it's like part of the recommendations, is the recognition and rewards. And I've learned that, yes, that is absolutely true. And I would like, Ms. Jules, if you can read these two bullets, recognition and rewards.
Yes. Tools, recognition, and rewards will be effective only if they satisfy a need that is valued by that individual. And cultural differences should be considered when determining recognitions and awards.
Okay, include this. Can you include this?
Oh, did I read that too?
Yes, please.
Utilizing organizational process assets. Organizational process assets can help manage the project team. Certificates of appreciation, newsletters, project websites, bonus structures, and corporate apparel.
Thank you so much. So sometimes maybe you don't have the budget, but you can use whatever you have in your organization. So based on my experience, thank God I was part of a huge organizations and we had a certificate of appreciation, like, thank you so much for your job. And we made like a party just in the kitchen. And we said, let's celebrate. Very simple ceremony. So I didn't need a lot of money to reward the team members. Also, let me publish a couple of pictures about your really good job, newsletters, publications internally. Remember that that's my case. We in Cisco, we were about 65,000 employees. So this new newsletter, it was covering all the regions. That's a lot of fun here, creating this piece of information. Project websites also, so we can put a couple of videos and, hey, congratulations, you did good job. Money, of course. I remember since 98, they gave me, I remember huge, not huge, but to me it was good, like $1,000 extra in that at the end of that month. So it's money. So if you don't have budget, you can use a couple of, and just be creative, how to recognize this type of achievement. All right, let me just continue because I would like to share with you a video. Let me stop sharing right now because this is a research that this person, Mr. Daniel H. Pink, he did in MIT in Massachusetts, and he said that he discovered what really motivates the team. He said, we found that people is not only like motivated by money or salary or promotion. There are a couple of additional things that we found. So they love autonomy, mastery, and purpose. So let me stop sharing because I'm going to share with you this video right now. Give me 1 second. I'm going to switch to YouTube. Give me 1 minute. I'm going to.
What's your worst essay grade? Probably like a 70.
Okay, let me just switch my account and Google Premium. Give me 1 second. And I'm going to use my personal account.
So let's talk. Let's go.
And I'm going to share with you my screen. Okay, Miss Jules, let me know if you can see my screen. It's like a couple of,
Go from
Yes.
London to the
okay, so let me just make sure you can listen to this. And this is research from Mr. Pink. All right.
go from London to the mean streets of Cambridge, Massachusetts, in the northeastern part of the United States. And let's talk about a study done at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Here's what they did. They took a whole group of students and they gave them a set of challenges to incentivize their performance.
Okay, I'm sorry. Miss Jules, can you listen this clearly? Because I think I didn't check the optimization of the video. Can
Yeah.
you
It
it's
sounds good to me. Everybody else, thumbs up?
thumbs up? Everybody
Yes,
else?
thumbs up.
Okay, all right.
They gave them
sorry.
3 levels of rewards. Okay. So if you did pretty well, you got a small monetary reward. If you did medium well, you got a medium monetary reward. And if you did really well, if you were one of the top performers, you got a large cash prize. Okay. So what happens? They do the test, they have these incentives. Here's what they found out. 1, as long as the task involved only mechanical skill, bonuses worked as they would be expected. The higher the pay, the better their performance. Okay, that makes sense. But here's what happens. But once the task called for even rudimentary cognitive skill, a larger reward led to poorer performance. Now, this is strange, right? A larger reward led to poorer performance. How can that possibly be? In fact, money is a motivator at work, but in a slightly strange way. If you don't pay people enough, they won't be motivated. What's curious about, there's another paradox here, which is that the best use of money as a motivator is to pay people enough to take the issue of money off the table. Pay people enough so that they're not thinking about money and they're thinking about the work. Now, once you do that, it turns out there are 3 factors that the science shows lead to better performance. Not to mention personal satisfaction. Autonomy, mastery, and purpose. What you see more and more is a rise of what you might call the purpose motive, is that more and more organizations want to have some kind of transcendent purpose, partly because it makes coming to work better, partly because that's the way to get better talent. And what we're seeing now is, in some ways, when the profit motive becomes unmoored from the purpose motive, bad things happen. Bad things ethically sometimes, but also bad things just like not good stuff, like crappy products, like lame services, like uninspiring places to work. That when the profit motive is paramount, or when it becomes completely unhitched from the purpose motive, it just, people don't do great things. More and more organizations are realizing this and sort of disturbing the categories between what's profit and what's purpose. And I think that actually heralds something interesting. And I think that the organizations that are flourishing, whether they're profit, for profit, or somewhere in between, are animated by this purpose model. Let me give you a couple of examples. Here's the founder of Skype. He says, our goal is to be disruptive, but in the cause of making the world a better place. Pretty good purpose. Here's Steve Jobs. I want to put a ding in the universe. All right? That's the kind of thing that might get you up in the morning and racing to go to work. So I think that that we are purpose maximizers, not only profit maximizers. I think the science shows that we care about mastery very, very deeply. And the science shows that we want to be self-directed. And I think that the big takeaway here is that if we start treating people like people and not assuming that they're simply horses, slower, smaller, better smelling horses, if we get past this kind of ideology of carrots and sticks and look at the science, I think we can actually build organizations and work lives that make us better off. But I also think they have the promise to make our world just a little bit better. So let's talk.
That was the Mr. Pink video and research. So having said that, that is absolutely agility mindset with the self-organizing teams. Any comments in terms of the video? Do you agree with Mr. Daniel Pink that people love to be like autonomous? They love autonomy, master, and purpose. Any comment, guys?
I liked the video and I agree. And there was one part where like I really remember one sentence that was like, pay people enough so they don't have to think about the money or worry. And so that they can put like worry, you're not worried, but put, like want to do their job. And it just makes a lot of sense how the product is better, obviously.
Absolutely. I love your comment, participation. Let me see anyone else. Any?
I've worked with some producers that treat the crew really poorly and don't pay on time, and everyone hates working there and they're miserable and they don't put their effort. And then when we work with a really, really nice producer, that she is so sweet and she treats everyone like with like a lot of kindness, people volunteer extra time, they volunteer extra effort. They're like, oh no, yeah, I do this one for free. Yeah, I do. Because just being treated like better, so yeah, like the result is better when you treat people better.
Yes, yes, I agree with you guys. So Miss Pamela, she's writing on the chat. She said, my boss at work applies this. Oh, wow. You have a good manager with incentive if we hit certain numbers from, okay, like goals. Has me working from home because I want to make the extra. Wow, que chévere. It sounds good. Well, he doesn't make.
What's a spiff? Well, it doesn't.
What is spiff? What is spiff means, Pamela?
What is spiff?
An extra cash. So instead of you like besides your hourly pay and your commissions, it's like, oh, if you sell these specific things on the list, then hey, here's $100, here's $100, and you're just like, oh, I really want to do that. But doing that also helps because you're looking through every single customer and you're like, oh man, I just want to bring everyone in. And it works because sometimes you don't get exactly those customers, but you end up hitting every single customer on your list.
That's cool.
He's so smart.
You see,
cool.
that's motivational techniques that he has. That's so cool. All right. I love your comments and I love your notes and I love your participation. We're almost done for the break, 5 more minutes, and we'll be taking the break number 1 for today. But before that, I want to make sure we understand that we need to develop the team. We need to motivate the team. We need to manage the knowledge, the collaboration environment. We want them to grow. We need to train the team. Sometimes we need to coach them. We need to be there just to resolve problems. That is all about leadership also. So now that we are doing a lot of stuff, not only watching and executing tasks, but also helping people. Another thing that we need to know for the exam is that there's another process that we need to keep in mind, which is number 5, is manage the team. What is that? So when you manage the team, is the process of tracking performance. So it's not only like helping them, it's also making sure they are doing the things right. So you need sometimes you need to ask for feedback. For example, in my organization, they were sending me a lot of emails, not every day, but at the end of the quarter. Haley said, I know that Ms. Martinez is working with you in this project. Can you provide feedback about that person's performance? So providing feedback. Number 2 is not only understanding the performance, but also resolving any issues, problems, and conflicts. And also, if we need to make any changes in the organization, it's a lot of work. So to do what? We are managing the team and to optimize the general performance of the team. So that it's 5. So that is a process number 5. Some of the terminologies that we need to know for consideration for Agile is this like indicator. This is a performance indicator for agile teams. Pay attention because this is a specific, a very technical word, team velocity. So in agility, we are tracking the results of the team, not individuals, never individuals. In agility, it's all about the team. So the team velocity in the Scrum framework, remember this is agile framework. The velocity, it's a key performance indicator that measures the amount of work, I'm having some issues with my mouse, amount of work a team can handle or like produce during a sprint. So if you see the chart here, maybe I need buttons. Okay. If you see this chart, this is velocity. This is the velocity of my team. So remember that in Agile, we organize the project into sprints. And a sprint is a short amount of time to deliver value. So in this case, we are tracking here how many study points we are like creating in each one of the sprints. So sprint number one, the blue bar, which is this one, is the estimated study points. So I love agility because everything is straightforward. You don't need to reinvent the wheel in agility. In traditional, you need to, okay, how can I estimate the duration? I don't know, based on, In this case, you make an agreement, you know the team capacity, and you need to measure the complexity of the user stories and assigning a specific amount of study points. I love that because this is very practical. You don't need to reinvent the wheel, as I said before. So this is the estimated amount of points that we are planning to deliver here. Let me put it in red here. Boom. So in green color, you will see the actual, the reality, the completed. So this is the expectation. This is the reality. Estimated. This is the plan. This is the actuals. So at the end of the sprint, you can have here, let's say, can we change the velocity? Yes. If you see here, the velocity here is 30 points. I don't know what happened with my pen here. Let me just use the pen one more time. So the velocity here, it's the green line. This is the expectations. But the sprint number 2, that is absolutely changing. We are doing more points. That is absolutely normal in agility. So the first 5 sprints, you will see a couple of changes and fluctuations. So at the end of the day, you can just to calculate like a average. So the velocity of my team, it's an average of 30 points per sprint. So what is that, let's say? This is a key performance indicator of the team productivity or team performance in agility. So having said that, let me know, guys, if you have any question about team velocity. If this concept is clear, put number 1 on the chat. Okay, number 1, that is clear, team velocity. How many points we can create? Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Now I think we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 5. We have 10 minutes break. It's 8 o'clock. I will see you at 8 and 10 minutes. So I'll see you in 10 minutes. Thank you. Thank you very much. Okay, so we are here. And before the break, we're talking about the team velocity. And I was telling you that managed team, it's everything. We need to make sure the team it's happy, it's productive. They know what to do. Sometimes you need to teach them, just create a collaboration environment. It's a lot of stuff. And also manage the team. It's about tracking results. So in huge organizations, they have like at the end of the quarters, every single quarter, they have to like make like a employees evaluation assessment and team performance. So they need to track the results. So in this case, in agility, there is something that we track in agile projects. The name of that indicator, it's the team velocity. So the team velocity is just for agile. It's the Scrum framework, agile. This is in the Scrum framework, I'm sorry. Velocity, it's a key performance. And I was explaining that before the break. It's about how many points, study points, we can create on each one of the sprints. And based on those numbers, we can increase, we can improve the productivity as a team. So in agility, there's not individual assessment. There's not in agility. In agility, it's all about the team performance. That's why we need team velocity as a team. So another tool when you need to manage and increase productivity and make the team be better, another tool that the PMI is establishing as a trending is the emotional intelligence. So when you see the definition, I'm going to move into this page because this definition is here. So this page is better. So by definition, the emotional intelligence, I know that now this is a trending topic. Emotional intelligence, something that we know, but now there is like a structure of emotional intelligence for the CAPM exam purposes. So in emotional intelligence is the ability to manage the personal emotions of oneself and other people. Remember, you are a leader and you need to control yourself, your own emotions, in order to help others' emotions. So this is like a 4 things, like in a structure. We have 4 quadrants. We have self-awareness, social awareness, self-management, and relationship management. So those are the 4 quadrants. You don't need to know more than that for the exam. And the team can use the emotional intelligence to reduce what? Stress. Okay, relax, you can put in music. Okay, guys, just provide some music and something to drink, water, whatever. Reduce in tension, increase cooperation by, number 1, you can identify sentiments and personal feelings of team members. Let's say, but this guys, it's not my family. I don't have that type of relationship with. Yes, you are here as a project manager because we need you. Sometimes you need to make sure that someone is having issues. I remember when I was working as a Scrum Master 2 years ago, I was working with a team from Iceland. And I remember it was at 3 a.m. 3 a.m. in the morning in Miami to 6 p.m. That was my schedule, de 3 a 6 de la mañana every day for 3 months. It was a part-time. I was a Scrum Master, and I remember that we got like 5 team members working for my team, sales team, for Microsoft 365 solution. I'm going to present next week, the last session, the dashboard that we created for that beautiful project. And I remember that there was one person, I think the name was Barky, very beautiful names and pronunciation, Barky, like this, Jarky, B, like Barky, but Barky like this. So it's not Jarky, it's Barky. And he was all the time like a mute like this. And hey, Barky, you okay? Yes, yes. He was like this, like boring all the time. So at the end of one of the meeting, daily scrum, I said, okay, Barky, can you stay? And I said, what happened? And he was explaining, I'm doing a divorce right now. I'm in the process of divorce with my family. We have a crazy situation. Also, I got cancer in my bones. So I'm doing like chemotherapy every week. So he was like this, very down. So you see, it was not his fault. And I remember that when I finished my part-time job after 3 months, he was a stay there, but very low performance. And after that, they told me that he just left the team. But it was something that I understood. Okay, Mr. But I understand. I'm not expecting that you be active. Don't worry. I understand. So that was I was identifying a specific situation for this person. We need to sometimes anticipate in their actions, acknowledging their concerns. You see, this person was sad, and it was very difficult for me to ask for results for this guy. Sometimes I was able to follow up their issues, and so this is part of the, let's say that is not my yes, that is your problem as a project manager. I'm sorry. So emotional intelligence, it could be inbound, yourself, self-management, or outbound, relationship management. Teams that succeed in developing the EI, emotional intelligence, EI, or become an emotionally competent group are more effective. Any comments in terms of emotional intelligence? What do you think, guys? Put something in the chat. Oh, yeah.
I have a comment.
Mhm.
What's the last thing you said was it makes the group more effective. I think this is one of my strengths. One of them, maybe one of a few. And when I've worked in teams, whether I was not the leader, maybe I was, this is something that I've always felt inclined to do because I need it and I like it when others do it for me. And I think I do a good job because people who are really appreciate it will definitely let you know that like you made them feel good, heard, or like, I don't know, you made a difference. So I think this is one of the reasons why I do feel um like project management would
You,
be like,
yeah, you're good for a project man. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely. Thank you for that comment, Miss Jules. Miss Pamela, you put it in a reaction and a heart. Anyone else? Mr. George, any opinion, any comments? You're very quiet today.
I thought the story was a little sad, what he went through. And you have to be understandable, and you were, but life happens.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Okay, so that's part of a managed team. That was emotional intelligence is a topic in project management also. All right, I think we're almost done. Let me just share with you a couple of key takeaways of this beautiful topic. Emotional intelligence is the ability to manage the personal emotions of oneself and other people's emotions. Project team is a group of individuals with assigned roles and responsibilities, and we need to achieve a project goal. Number 4 here, bullet number 4, role, responsibility, authority, and competency are 4 components of this plan. And last but not least, the resource management processes are a lot of processes, but we don't need to memorize those names for the exam. But just, I have them here. Planning is the process number 1. Then you estimate how many people you need, how many equipments you need, how many materials you need. Then process number 3, it's getting the resources, the things that you need, the people you need. This another process is to develop team. Remember that I told you about the ladder of Tuckman ladder, that we have a lot of stages. So it's not easy to develop the team to be more productive. Manage team is what I was talking about, tracking results. Controlling resources, I did not mention anything about controlling because this word to me, you cannot control people. You can manage people. So this is just about physical resources. It could be money here, controlling money. Maybe you can control money. You can control equipments. You can control platforms or infrastructures like physical stuff. So I didn't include it in my conversation, but this is the idea. You can control the budget and maybe the time of implementation. All right, so I think we are absolutely good to introduce the next topic. So Miss Jules, let me know if you see any comments, any question in the chat, because we are ready to start another beautiful, this is better. Communications is one of the most easy reading topics for the exam. So when you see the Bible, you will see, oh my goodness, communications is so easy. It's very common sense. It's something that you do every day, communications. So let me stop sharing this part of the class. And Miss Jules, let me know if you see any question, any comment before.
Nothing yet.
No? Okay. I want you to feed me back. Every single team member of this class, participants, just put number 5 in the chat. Okay, Lisa, you can continue. We are good. Good to go, Miss Lisa. Thank you. 555. Yes. Thank you. All right. Perfect. Communications management. Let me know, any volunteer, if you can see communication management.
Yes.
Perfect. I'm going to share with you a couple of examples based on my experience, which is better than a lot of PowerPoints and blah, blah, blah. I love examples. Examples is my favorite. It's my super superpower. Okay, communication management. I'm happy to announce that we're moving to the day number 6, which is today, and we are going to introduce communications management. Pay attention because I know you have a couple of homework assigned for this. I think I gave you some homework for this topics, communications and risk. All right. So we finished resources and now we're going to introduce communications and maybe 30% of risk management today. All right. At the end of this module, please pay attention because I'm going to ask, like, what do you think, your opinion, whatever. We are going to know that communication is only 3 processes. Integration, 7 processes. Schedule management, 6 processes. Budget, 4 processes. Resources, like 6. But now it's only, in communications, only 3. Yay. Okay, now we are going to identify a couple of concepts and approaches in communication management, like in tailoring and special considerations for agility. We are going to know what are the dimensions of communication and what are the components of a communication management plan. I have examples for that. Yay. Identify communication skills and methodologies for project communication management. All right. So having said that, let's do this. Thing number 1, I don't remember if I gave you this assignment last week. Miss Lisette and Miss Larissa, I don't remember. So my apologies. If you don't have that assignment, you can just read these 3 processes if you want to. So any volunteer to number 1 to just read the communications management page. Are you guys ready?
On the PM book, you want to read the, yes, we can read it. I can read it.
Okay. You can read from the screen if you want to. Just read everything. Planning, manage.
Okay. Communications management, planning, executing, and controlling. Plan, communications management, developing approach for project communications, analyzing communication requirements, and selecting communication technologies, whether that be conversations, meetings, written documents, databases, or websites. Executing, managing communications. Creating, collecting, distributing, storing, retrieving project information. Ensuring that the communication technology choice is appropriate. Performance reporting, sending, receiving. Do you want to read the last one?
No, just we did prepare a presentation.
Oh, okay.
But yes, I can read the last thing. Controlling, monitor communications, ensures optimal information flow among all communication participants at any moment in time.
Thank you. I want reactions on the chat. So Miss Lisa and Miss Larissa, thank you. Good job because you're reading every single idea and you did a great job. So I need reactions because I want you to be here with me. All right. So it's not only me. Great job, guys. Reactions. I don't see like what is that? Like thumbs up, plus, whatever. Just put something in the participants. Thank you.
Professor?
Yes.
We also prepared a presentation of project communications management.
Oh, did you? Oh, guys, but you
Yeah.
have, okay, if you want to, just feel free to, you
It's
want,
just, yes.
you want to read it or you want to share your screen?
Your screen.
Whatever you want, Miss Larissa.
I can just read it.
Okay, go ahead.
So, project communications management is basically all about making sure that the right people get the right information at the right time and in the right way. So without good communication, even the best project plan will not work. It will fall apart. And there are 3 main processes: the plan communications management, and this is where we decide what information needs to be shared and by which method, like emails, meetings, reports. The second one is managed communications. This is the actual sending, receiving, and storing of the project information, like writing the reports, holding team meetings, updating dashboards. And the last one is monitor communications, and it is checking to make sure that stakeholders really got what they needed and that messages were not just sent, but also understood by the team.
Absolutely. Wow. You including everything, planning, managing communication and monitoring. Thank you so much, Miss Larissa. That was a good over my expectations. I was expecting just reading, but you did it something beyond the expectations. Thank you so much. I think we have the reactions, so thank you. And let me make sure we have the next page. And let me check the comments. Oh, Miss Jules is laughing. Perfect. All right. Pay attention because this is tricky. The things that I'm going to say right now. This thing that I'm going to say right now. So I want you to write it down. There's a difference between communication without S and communications with S. So one thing is communication and another thing is communications. Pay attention. You will see the difference right now. So communication without S, you see no S here, is the exchange of information. And Miss Larissa explained it very clear in her presentation right now. So communication is the action, is the exchange of information, right? So the information exchanged can be in form of ideas, instructions, or emotions. And she explained that. So that's why she covered everything. So some of the mechanisms, AKA dimensions that I was expecting to explain right now, they have a couple of dimensions by which information is exchanged, can be written, spoken, formal through gestures, formal or informal, through gestures. Please pay attention because when you see the yellow, it's that you need to understand the idea for the exam, right? Through media, choice of words. Those are what? Those are dimensions of communications. And when you see communication without S, it's about the verb, the action, it's the exchange. So I'm not going to read the definitions because it's very self-explanatory. It's very easy reading. So written, you know what is that? Physical, electronic. Spoken, you know, face-to-face. Formal, through gestures, the tone, the body language. So you know that better than me. So I'm going to jump into the other terminology so you can see the difference, right? So communication, you know, is the verb, is the action. And communications with the S, please pay attention. I'm going to put in a star so you can see the difference. Describe the possible means, son los medios, means, the possible means by which the information can be sent or received. Miss Clarissa also covered the communications, either through communication activities such as meeting. Miss Lisette was also reading that part. Meeting, presentations, or artifacts. When you see this terminology in project management, is very important. An artifact, it's an important document in a project. That is a general terminology that when you see an artifact, it's something important. So in this case, some of the examples, it could be an email, social media, it could be the project report, it could be a dashboard. It could be a Kanban, right? It could be a task board. So a lot of different artifacts that you can create in a communications to communicate the project communications. That is the difference. So without S is the verb. With the S are the means, the possible means. So I'm going to continue and I'm going to ask Mr. Josh if you are available, of course. If you can help me reading these 3 paragraphs for the agile and adaptive environments.
Absolutely. Considerations for agile adaptive environments. Project environments need to communicate frequently and quickly. This motivates streamlining team member access to information, radiators, Kanban, etc., frequent team checkpoints, posting project artifacts in a transparent fashion, and holding regular stakeholder reviews, sprint review, daily scrum, retrospectives.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So as you can see, for agility, we have like a different language, like 100% different. So in traditional, we don't have radiators, we don't have Kanban, we don't have a sprint review, we don't have daily scrum, we don't have retrospective. So for this specific topic, I want you to pay attention because I know it's a lot of new words. So when you see agility, remember that agility is about constantly communication with your team. So at the end of the sprint, you have a lot of different meetings. You have the sprint review. Okay, let me just keep this order. It's frequently and quickly, boom, 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 a lot of sprints. That's number one idea. Number two, this frequently, like checkpoints, motivates streamlined team member access to information. So because we have a meeting every day, we have a daily Scrum meeting every day for 50 minutes, you need to create a very active and live, yo diría que vivo, alive, a person like changing, very flexible Kanban, which is changing every day. Why? Because we have a lot of checkpoints. Number three, some of the examples, those are the information radiators, transparency. We need to publish this type of radiators in a very visual and public space. What is that? Let's say this is a radiator. It's a very, I would say, visual representation of the task that we are doing. Those are sticky notes, like physical on the wall. That's a best practice in agility. So what are the meetings that we have every day in Scrum? We have sprint reviews at the end of the sprint. We have daily Scrum, 15 minutes every day. We have retrospective to check if we can do better and improve the processes and the people and the products. So what is that? Let's say those are a couple of ideas. So you can see the difference between agility and traditional. This is absolutely flexible, quickly, and beautiful. So thank you so much, Mr. George. I'm going to continue plan communications management. I'm going to move forward. Miss Julie, voy a fluir, so let me know at any time if you see that I'm speaking too fast, just stop me at any time.
Okay.
Okay, Miss Jules?
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I'm going to move forward right now. Plan communications management, it's about including important considerations that may need to be considered when you're planning. It's who needs the information, and Miss Larissa covered that part. What information they need, when they will need the information, where the information should be stored, how the information can be retrieved. And I think Ms. Lisette also was mentioning this. A couple of other things to take into consideration: the time zone, at what time you're going to publish the reports, the language, different languages. So it's better to create something very visual instead of a lot of like paragraphs and written documents. And cross-functional considerations need to be considered. Those are a couple of considerations. So now that is very straightforward. I don't think we need more explanation. This is very, very clear. Any question, just let me know, because I'm going to move to the new concepts like this one. There is something in project management that the name is communication channels. What does that look like? Is that based on the size of the team, you can calculate how many communication channels we have. Pay attention, because that is the first time that I saw this. It was in this class, in CAPM class. So communication channels is an indicator of the complexity of project communications. When you have a lot of people in your team, let me know, let's say, if this makes sense for you. And Jules, you have a lot of experience working on teams. It's not easy to keep formality, because every single person, they have a different idea. If you're texting something in WhatsApp, I didn't understand that. Could you say it's a mess. So this is a complexity indicator. So N, it's a number of stakeholders, and those are the channels. So if you have 4 people, you're gonna have 6 channels. 5, you see, increasingly, like exponentially. And what is the formula? Thank you for asking. Communications channels equals N multiplied by N minus 1 divided by 2. So let me just calculate the communication channels with 4 people. So it's 4 multiplied by 3 divided by 2. This is 12 divided by 2 equals 6. Boom, here's the number. So when you increase 5 to 10, you see 5 people, you are going to have 10 channels. But now you are duplicating the stakeholders, and you see you're not duplicating the channels. This is exponential, like a lot of channels. So what does that say? Nothing. This is just an indicator of complexity in communication management. There's something, the name is communication channels, and that's it. It's calculated like this. So you probably get 1 or 2 questions about this topic in the exam. This is not tricky at all. It's not confusing. It is what it is. Communication channels based on how many people you have on the site. Let's set any comment. You agree with global PMI global concept that this is a challenge when you have a lot of people in your team? You agree with that, Ms. Lisette, Ms. Jules?
I do agree. I think it's interesting to see the relationship between the X and Y. Just because it's not like a 1-to-1 ratio, how you were saying. Just because you double the N doesn't mean you double the channels. So it's interesting. Thinking about how if N is the stakeholders, like I'm trying to apply it to a project, and I don't know, it's just the more stakeholders,
More channels.
even more, but even more than you think, you know.
Yes, exactly. It's complex. It's a complicated situation. So, okay, so let's say, what is the recommendation if I have a group like it's large, it's a lot of people? Okay, be formal. Formal as much as possible. Todo formal, written down, todo escrito. It's not just, let me tell you something, like a one, but no, you cannot do that. You need to be formal. Any comment, Miss Jules? You agree with this conversation about be formal when you have a lot of people?
No comments.
No comments, all right. Let me continue. And represents the number of stakeholders or team members of people engaged. All right. Let's continue. Okay, this is for the exam. Just a note from PMI. Special note for the exam. Believe me, you are going to see one question like this. PMI says that project managers spend as much as 90%. Oh my goodness. 90% of our time in some form of communications, and I agree. Or you are writing an email, or you're speaking with someone else, or you're creating a piece of information. Yes, or are you creating a video? Do you guys agree? Any comments? I agree. That's a lot of time that you spend communicating. Let me know your comments. I'm going to continue. This is for the exam. Please keep that in yellow. Okay. I was explaining that in agility, I was trying to put this so you can go to ChatGPT or Copilot, I want you to do this. I'm going to skip this page. However, I want 1 or 2 people in this room to go to ChatGPT and ask, hey, ChatGPT, what is a sprint planning, daily scrum, sprint review, and sprint retrospective? So ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini can provide a definition. Let me copy and paste this into the chat so any volunteer can ask AI assistant, what is that? What is that? Copy and paste. Let me put it in the chat. So I'm not going to ask a specific person. Just let me know. If you got the definitions, maybe one line, very short definition, just let me know. I'm going to continue. So stop me at any time if you got the explanation. What is the sprint planning? What is the daily scrum? What is the sprint review? And what is in the sprint retrospective? Okay. I'm going to continue. Just let me know when anyone at any time, let me know. And this is the beautiful part that I'm going to share with you some of my personal examples. Communications plan.
Professor?
Yes.
I have the definitions for the 4 concepts.
Yay! Okay. Can you read it for us, Miss Larissa?
Yes. So according to ChatGPT, I need to turn off. Thank you. Sprint planning is a meeting where the team defines the sprint goal and selects backlog items to work on. Daily Scrum is a short daily meeting for the team to synchronize, share progress, and plan the next 24 hours. A sprint review is a meeting at the end of the sprint to demonstrate the project increments and gather stakeholder feedback. And sprint retrospective is a meeting where the team reflects on the sprint and identifies ways to improve processes.
Wow, Miss Larissa, I need to send you a present, un regalo. You are the best because you are providing just like a 2 or 3 words definition for each one of those beautiful meanings. Yo estaba asustada, I was scared because it's too much. It was too much information for me to explain, but you did it in a master way, como una maestra, like a professor. So thank you so much for that, Miss Larissa. So now that Miss Larissa proactively explained that very straightforward, I want to just to explain that sprint planning is the first meeting in Scrum. It's at the beginning of the Scrum. And we are going to define what to do during the Scrum. So during the sprint, sprint. This is the sprint number 1, sprint number 2. Daily Scrum, she explained that it was a synchronization meeting every day, 15 minutes. I love this because agility, it's so realistic and it's like people driven. 15 minutes. Hey guys, remember we have 15 minutes today. And in this meeting, Daily Scrum, we have just 3 questions. Number 1, what did you do yesterday? Question number 2, what are you planning to do today? And question number 3, how can I help? That is a Scrum Master asking if you need any help. So it's just 15 minutes, let's say, yes. Some books, they mention this meeting as a stand-up. So nobody can sit down. It's stand up meeting. It's the pie because we don't have to boom, 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 boom. Okay, Miss Jules, what did you do yesterday? What are you planning to do today? And Miss Jules, you have any obstacles or impediments that I can help with? Okay, Mr. George, what did you do yesterday? What are you planning to do today? Every single team member. I love it. 15 minutes. After 15 minutes, we finish. Boom. That is the daily Scrum. Sprint review is beautiful because at the end of the sprint, after 4 weeks, finally you are celebrating the results and you're presenting the increment of your solution to your customers. And you are going to ask, hey guys, are you happy? Feed me back, feed me back. You want me to change something? That is a sprint review. That is the meeting number 3. And this meeting, last but not least, pay attention. I know it's too much information, but thank God you don't need that for the exam. It's just, I love this topic and I want to explain better. So the sprint retrospective, you have 3 questions one more time. What went well? Question number 1, what went well? ¿Qué hicimos bien? Number 2, what went not so well? ¿Qué no hicimos no tan bien? What went not so well? It's another question. Number 3, how can we do better next time? That is a sprint retrospective. So thank you. This is absolutely agile environment. And having said that, I want to share with you. Okay, any question, any comment in the chat? Is that clear? The sprint retrospective, the sprint review. Remember, I'm not expecting perfection, but just an idea. Is the idea clear? Okay, perfect. Thank you so much, Mr. George. No question. All right. So when you say the communications management plan, it's part of the comprehensive master plan. It's a lot of things to say about that. But I'm not going to read the bullets because those are too many. So I'm going to explain this idea with one example that I created. So my humble example of a communications management plan. I'm going to share that with you. You see, it's a lot of things and components. So it's better to explain everything in one chart. This is my humble example. I was in charge of the high touch communications plan in Latin America, including United States and Canada. High touch America, high touch, let's say Americas, meaning the map, North, South, and Central America's high touch program manager. I'm now going to explain the details, but it was a marketing program for the distribution channels of Cisco in Canada, United States, and Latam. So what does Alan say? This is my beautiful communication plan. I did it in Excel, and I put some color on the top, and I was including the items, some of the pieces of information that we needed to create. I'm very proud to share with you this Excel, and you can just copy paste and use this as a template. And I put a couple of columns here, the purpose of that specific piece of information, boom, boom, boom. Remember, this is just an instruction. I got a lot of like 25 different lines. So it was a huge, very large project. The purpose of this item or event, the audience, the frequency, the date that are supposed to create those things, the delivery methodology, who provides the content, who's responsible to create the piece of information, and who's responsible to send this type of artifact. Those are artifacts. So first of all, program financial results, general, whatever, US, Canada, program progress reports, milestone execution, high touch trainings, invitations, reminders, specific for high touch, general trainings, like schedule. So that's it. So if you can see here, who's responsible? Lisette and Mark Dolby. Lisette and Mark Dolby. Lisette, these distributors, business development managers, Lisette Lander here. A lot of people involved. It was not only me. So marketing agency, high touch template, Marcy Blair, Marcelo, Ryan, Bill, Caroline, Nicole. So a lot of information that I don't want to go deeper, just to provide an example. So let me continue because I have more examples coming up. So we have only 10 more minutes until the break. So Miss Jules, any question, any comment? Did you like the beautiful example? I'm very humble.
Yes.
Yes, okay. Thank you. Comments. Put something in the chat. I love feedbacks from you guys. Let me continue. All right, we have a quiz right now. So let me copy and paste the link. So take the time and put the answer on the chat. Okay, George, thank you so much. I'm going to copy and paste the link. Remember, this is communications topic. So I'm sorry. Let me just share again. And I'm going to copy and paste the link to the chat. I don't know what happened that I cannot. Okay, now I can copy. All right. Copy the link. So Miss Jules, let me know if you can see this link. All right.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, I can see that you are responding. Thank you. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 feedbacks. Okay, I think good to go. We have five participants today. All right, so the answer is absolutely A, plan communications management, manage communications, and monitor communications. All right, remember that I'm creating practice exams manually, so you have something to do if you want to review the content when you are preparing to take the exam. All right. Manage communications, as you explained before. C number 1, it's about creating, collecting, doing, distributing stuff and pieces and artifacts. Some of the examples that I can provide are the performance reports, deliverable status, schedule progress, cost, how much money we are spending on a weekly basis or monthly, presentations, PowerPoint, status reports, progress report, forecasting. What else? And this is the sprint burn down chart. This is a like follow-up, like agile. Let me explain what is that. When you see sprint burn down chart, it's a chart representing here for each one of the sprints. In blue is the actual study points that we need to create. And this orange line is the ideal. So this is the plan, the ideal is the plan, and this is the actual. So having said that, those are the how many study points are left. So we're starting here in sprint number 1, we have a lot of study points to do. So as you move forward through the life cycle of the execution of the project, you will see that we had less to do, less. So the name of that is the reminding lo que falta, reminding work, remind work. So it's left, but it's like this.
The remaining?
Remaining, yes, remaining. That's the word that I was looking for. Remaining work. Yes, that's why it's from the top to the bottom. So ideally, at the end of the sprint number 8, we have 0 work to do, 0 points, 0 study points pending. So that is burn down. That's why the name of this chart, it's burn down, that we are burning como quemando los study points, burning down. There's another one which is up, burn up, which is the same information, but in another perspective, going up, which is the completed work, that like this, which is different. All right. Questions, comments? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to continue just presenting just charts and examples until the break. So this is another one. As you can see here, this is very self-explanatory, straightforward. I don't want to spend time because this is a Gantt chart. And if you see the activity A, it has 2 different rectangles. The top one, which is the black one, is representing the actual, the results. And the white one, which is this one, is representing the baseline, which is the plan. So now, if you visualize this chart, are we doing good in terms of activity A is doing good? Yes or not? According to the plan, anyone?
Yes.
Yes. What about activity B?
Not great.
No. Why? Because this is the plan. We're supposed to start here. And we started like late. So we will be, you see, late. So this is we're not doing good in terms of if you can visualize this report, this Gantt chart. All right, continue. Milestone chart is just putting high-level events, important events. What is this, Liz said? Those are examples of communication artifacts or artifacts. Miss Liz said, can you help me pronounce with the pronunciation of this word, artifact? How can you pronounce this in a better English? Artifact.
Professor, you got it perfectly. Artifacts is correct.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Let me continue. This is another performance reporting. I'm not going to explain that. This is planned value, earned value, actual cost. The variance positive or negative, remember, good, bad, good, bad. You remember that. I'm not going to explain that. This is another type of artifacts that we are presenting as an example. I'm going to skip this one because I have a couple of things that I want to share before the break. And I expect you can do this offline, this quiz. So let me continue. 3 more minutes. Let me stop sharing because we have only 3 minutes until the break. And I want to share something that you are going to enjoy. It was something that I learned in a conference in Las Vegas. And the speaker was talking about this topic. I love it. Let me share that with you. That like funny, very funny topic. Okay. Okay, it's very funny. No se rían, don't laugh, but it was like when this guy presented this introduction, he said, what? So let me know, Miss Jules, Miss Larissa, if you can see. No se rían, don't laugh at me because that is something that, oh my gosh, you're nice at this. Okay. Oral communications, public speaking. That is absolutely the introduction for that guy in a conference in Las Vegas. He said, this guy, it's awesome. Mr. Robert Graham. I love this guy. He's so like smart. So he was presenting in front of like 15,000 people in a huge arena in Las Vegas. And he said, according to most studies, people's number one fear is public speaking. So I want reactions. Be with me. We have just 2 minutes to see this. He said, oh my goodness, that is unfair to speak in public. I know, guys, you are very fluent in public, but it was not my case. I remember. I remember when I was working at Cisco. Fue un susto para mí. So number 2 is death. So exagerado, exaggerating. Number 2 fear is death. Death is number 2. Does that seem right? That means to the average person, if you have to go to a funeral, you're better off in the casket. Oh my goodness, so extremely, so extremo, so extreme. If you're better off in the casket than doing like the speech. Eulogy. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but
Eulogy is correct.
that was this comedian, but that was the introduction of the topic. So what is the topic? It's overcoming your anxiety around public speaking. And he was just recommending a couple of tips. And with that, we are going to take the break. Okay. He said 10 keys to dealing with your speaking related nervousness. Guys, please let me know whatever you think about this. You agree, maybe, I don't know, just put something before the break. We have 2 more minutes. Think of your speaking situation as a series of small conversations. So never think that you have a lot of things to say. It's just small ideas. Number 2, practice. I agree. I don't know about this, but practice, yes. I remember the first time that I was teaching PMP, initiating, planning, executing, controlling, and cruising. I was practicing every day in the front of a mirror in my house in Miami Lakes and Choma Homes. I remember that. I was practicing and how to speak, how to pronounce. I was reading the Bible in voz alta every day so I can speak English. And let's say my daughter, she told me, Mommy, you're learning a lot of English. I remember that. All right. Number 3. Know that your audience doesn't know how nervous you are. You are the only person that knows how nervous you are, not anyone else, just you. Let me read your inputs. Okay, so true. The first one is like breaking it down into topics. Okay, you agree with that. All right, number 4, something that I learned is you never say this. Mr. George, let me know if you agree with this. You need to introduce, hey, not telling, my name is George. I am living in Miami. Like, that is boring. I learned that you can start just telling a story. I remember that this morning I was at so having said that, welcome to this class. So I use this a lot, just providing a story, como una historia o como una anécdota at the beginning of my conversations. That's like the class number 1 in the introductions, I do something like the un dolor de cabeza headache. This lady, she got this headache and she went to the doctor. You remember that? Anyone? So that is opening well, opening with something different and fresh. This smoosh, I don't know how to pronounce, but this is just knowing when you need to go in person to a place and you have a couple of people sit down in the room, you can introduce yourself. Hey, hello, I'm Lisetta. I will be your facilitator. How are you today? This is understanding the environment. It's making sure that your computer it's okay. The lights are you know how to control the air conditioning. The lights, that's smooch, like getting familiar with the environment. Number 6, put your nervous energy to work for you. When you're nervous, just be happy and do something to just to relax yourself. But this energy sometimes is good. It's going to keep the environment like active. Que todo el mundo está activo and happy. I use this a lot. When I'm nervous, I'm more energetic. And this is a good thing. It's not bad, the energy. Number 7, during the minutes leading up to your talk, stop trying to practice. I agree, absolutely. You stop 2 hours before the presentation. Number 8, be the duck in the water. Oh my gosh, I love this. If you see the ducks like in a lake here in Miami Lakes, you see that they are like serenito, like doing like with peace, swimming, boom, 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 on the surface of the water. But in the bottom, if you see the two, la patica, they're like 200 revolutions by seconds. So nobody see that inside of you, you are nervous. So just try to present that you are in peace, como the appearance, that you are in peace. Tú estás en paz. That's number 8. I agree with that. Oh, I love this. Number 9, select a supporting. Hey, Miss Julie, can you be my TA? That is a support team. Now I have Miss Jules. At any time, I feel like protection. Hey, Miss Jules, can you help me? Hey, Miss Jules, can you see my screen? That is a supporting team. If you're going to teach in person, you can have friends, make friends. Hey, how are you? I'm Lisette. Nice to meet you. Okay, what's your name? Peter. So when you are talking in the front of the people speaking, in the front of a public, you can say, hey, Mr. Peter. You remember that, for example, Mr. Peter, that you know the name. Guys, do you agree with that? It's only me, I'm crazy. And last but not least, know that you are better than you think. Any reactions for this beautiful tips that I'm giving you? Was this valuable? ¿Aprendieron algo? Did you learn something? No one knows when you mess up. Yes, Miss Liz said. Strong call to action is important. Yes, I agree. Miss Larissa, very valuable tips. What about you, Miss Jules? I know maybe you are experts. I'm not. Mr. Josh, you agree? Miss Pamela, anyone else? Any comments? Miss Jules just applauding. No comments. All right. Okay, guys, I think we are ready to take the break. And after the break, we are going to introduce the topic number 2, which is resource. Okay, it's communications. We finished. Now we are going to introduce risk management. All right. I see you in 10 minutes. It's 9:06. I'll see you at 9:16. Thank you, guys, for your participation today. Thank you. Okay, any volunteer, let me know if you can see my screen.
I can see your screen.
Thank you. Those are the keys to dealing with your speaking related nervousness. That was from my this person that was presenting this topic, Mr. Robert Graham. That was in Las Vegas. So having said that, I want to close the topic right now. And for that, I'm going to share with you a couple of key takeaways of communications management. Number 1, what is communication without S? And what is communication with the S? Excuse me, let me close this door. Give me 1 second. A lot of noise here. Okay. Sorry for that. Much better now. Okay, so when you see communication, it's the exchange of information or intended or involuntary. This is number 1, communication without S. Communications with the S, it are the means by which the information can be sent or received. Some of the examples are artifacts like email, social media, reports, documents. Communication channel is an indicator of project complexity. And it's the number of stakeholders based on how many team members we have, stakeholders and team members. Excuse me, communication management processes are planned communication, managed communication, and monitored communication. Those are the key takeaways of communications management. And now I'm going to stop sharing and give me 1 second because I was asking Mr. George and Ms. Lisette, how can you, if you can open this type of application of AI, which is Gamma, and I'm going to take like 5 minutes to share with you what I want you to practice in these 3 days. So for Monday, you're going to say, okay, let's say we did something, we could do this or not. So that is how to create your final project plan using ChatGPT and Gamma. So that is part of my commitment and responsibility when we started getting this class. So weekly presentation, let me go to project plan. I'm asking a couple of things for you. Okay, so I'm going to share with you right now the prompt that I gave you. Remember that those documents are already there in the classroom. So this was, I don't know why my MacBook Air, it's changing the color like from nowhere. I don't have that explanation. Sometimes the background is white and sometimes it's black. So I never discovered what happened here, but can you see the prompt to create the project plan, anyone? Can you guys?
Yeah, I
Okay.
can see it.
Okay, so the background is black, the font are blue, and this here, this part of my document, it's in red colored. So what is this? So I want you to pay attention. Let me make sure we are recording. Yes, we are recording. This is a prompt that I gave you for you to use to create the first version of your project using ChatGPT. Then we're going to move to Gamma to put the presentation beautiful. So that's the plan. For today, I want you to do this. Okay, let me just put this bigger, like larger.
Will you be uploading that to the classroom?
It's already there. So I want you to check. Yo quiero que ustedes chequen today. So you let me know if you can see it. This is the prompt. Este es el prompt. This is a prompt that you are going to use and you are going to put into ChatGPT. So first of all, I want to explain that the prompt needs to be adapted to you need to put your own idea here in red in this part. So this is the general prompt that I gave you, the standard prompt that you are going to use. So you are a project manager, blah, 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 create a presentation with 15 slides, including speaker notes for a business project whose objective is, that it's my project, mine, not yours. So you need to put your project here, like description. That's why I ask you for the high-level description of the project. So it's a handmade coconut ice cream business.
Wow.
Including organic and healthy ingredients and a very unique presentation and sizes. This is something crazy because my sister Chave last night, she sent me delicious coconut
The mic is
ice cream that Mr. George was visiting Chave, and she said, "Hi, mommy, this is the ice cream that she made. So delicious." All right. So this is the only thing that you need to customize is this part. That's it. And I put in the Miami City, follow the instruction, That's it. You don't need to change anything else. Why? Because it is what it is. So 2 more documents that you need to include into ChatGPT is the CAPM Final Project Guide, which is another document that it's in the classroom. I want you to go and check if you can see it. And the other one is the project plan example that I also posted on the classroom. So every single piece that you need, it's already there, posted on the classroom, Google Classroom. All right. So this is the step number 1. You open the prompt, boom, here. And you copy. Just right-click, copy, boom. Now, I'm going to open ChatGPT. So I'm going to stop sharing. Oh, no, let me try to open right here. Let me just minimize this one and open my ChatGPT assistant. Remember that you don't need to pay for the ChatGPT to do your project. It's the free version. It's the free trial. So I was not able to share my screen. Let me just.
Let's go from London to the mean streets of Cambridge.
I need to switch. So let me open right now ChatGPT. Boom. So, okay. So let me share with you my ChatGPT. Boom. This is my ChatGPT assistant. And I'm going to click on Nuevo Chat. By the way, I want ChatGPT in English, not in Spanish. So let me change it to English.
You can still speak to him in English.
Pero preference, language preference, I know I can put it in. That's too. I don't have time for that right now. Okay, anyways, I'm going to upload the 2 inputs documents that I gave you, that I posted on Google Classroom. Number 1, añadir fotos y archivos. So in this case will be add pictures and files. Boom. Here. So I'm going to open ice cream coconut. Okay, no, I'm going to open project plan, explanation and more. And I'm going to, those are the 3 documents that I posted on Canvas, on Google Classroom. So I'm going to upload the example of the project, which is 1 input. Boom, I'm going to put it here. And also I'm going to add another one more time. And I'm going to put the guide. So 2 things, 2 inputs. Let's say, can you see my screen, ChatGPT?
I sure can, Professor.
Okay, thank you. So you are going to upload 2 inputs to ChatGPT. And now you are going to paste, right-click pasting the prompt. This is the prompt. Just copy and paste it. Remember to customize this part. Handmade coconut ice cream for Lisette, and Miss Larissa is going to be the room makeover. For team number 2, personal passion project short film. Team number 3 will be animal welfare awareness. So you need to change this here. All right. Let me move on to here and just click enter. Boom. Now ChatGPT is going to create a PowerPoint presentation. Okay, 2 respuestas. Perfect. Now I have your CAPM Final Project Guide and the project plan example. I can create the 15 slides with speaker notes. Handmade. Can you guys practice this with me and let me know your results? Side presentation, handmade. I'm going to use this. Prefiero estar estrés. Ok.
Go up. What is it?
What is this?
Energy.
Stress viable and impactful. Reinforce innovation, financial feasibility. Stress values, green branding in Miami. Green branding in Miami, diversity flavor. All those are the slides for the PowerPoint here.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, slide deck outline. Project title, team members, date, notes. Introduce the business projects and its innovative focus. Problem statement, need for healthier dessert options in Miami. I love it. Este ChatGPT is crazy. And project description, project objectives, handmade, description, handmade coconut ice cream with organic ingredients, exotic flavors, and unique sizes and presentations. So, Pooh, I'm not going to read everything because it's time consuming, and we need to speak about risk management. This is the WBS. This is the 5W plus 1H. You see, this is according to the guidance that I gave you, and I posted on Google Classroom. So now I need the PowerPoint. Okay. So say, please generate the PowerPoint. Boom. I'm asking for PowerPoint format. Supposed to be analyzing. So for now, I want you to do this step that I'm doing right now. Now I can download the handmade coconut ice cream project in PowerPoint. So you are going to see something like this. I'm going to open the PowerPoint right now. Okay, can you guys let me know if you can see the PowerPoint like a plain, just black and white? Can you see it?
I do not see it.
Okay, let me stop sharing and go back and share again. Okay, now can you see it? Let's say.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is this? This is the ugly version.
Hideous.
So I want you to do the ugly version first. So by Monday, I'll be asking you, hey, did you guys do the ugly version? Yes. So Monday, we're going to move to the next step, which is put it beautiful. We have a lot of different things and different ways to do it. So we're going to use Gamma. So for this Monday, you have 3 days to do the ugly version. Is that clear, guys?
Yes,
Yes.
Professor.
Okay, so I want you to do this in 3 days. From Monday, I'm going to say, hey guys, now you are going to check one by one the pages, the content. If the content is according to the things that I gave you in the guidelines, like the type of content, the order of the presentation, it makes sense for you guys. If you can see the WBS, if you have the budget, if you see the baseline, if you can see the schedule, if everything is there, that's perfectly fine. If something is missing, you need to do whatever it takes to adapt and fix if something is missing. Is that clear? Anyone?
Yes.
Yes, Professor.
Remember that I will be available. You can text me. Remember, we have a WhatsApp group chat. So this is the step number 1, creating the ugly part and reviewing based on the checklist that I gave you and the guideline. So I gave you that document. Okay, we need to finish the risk management in these 30 minutes, and let me just stop sharing and minimize the ugly version of my beautiful project. And now I think we are ready. Give me 1 second. Esa puerta me la puede cerrar esa. Media hora. Okay, so we have visitors, surprise in this house. That's okay. So let me just close the ugly version of my presentation and go back to the class. Go back to class. So any question, I know, guys, it's too much information, it's too many steps, but believe me, I'm just organizing the mindset so you can start doing something this weekend. On Monday, we continue with the gamma, which is the beautiful part, and how can you put a beautiful and design pictures and templates. Okay, risk management. Miss Julie, Miss Jules, can you see my screen? Now I'm transitioning to risk management. Anyone, Miss Jules?
Yeah.
Okay, let me make sure we are recording one more time. Yes, we are recording. Okay, I'm going to introduce risk management. That it's a topic that I like it a lot because when I was taking the class and doing my bachelor's, I remember that some of my worst experience were calculating probabilities and a lot of like data analysis. And when I saw this topic and for the project management, I said, oh my goodness, risk management. And oh no, that is ugly. I don't want to know risk management. But now I understand that risk management, it's a mindset. So for the exam, it's not about calculating probability at all. It's understanding the PMI mindset and how you need to make decisions after you understand the importance of risk management. Also, I learned a couple of things like what? That is risk? Yes. So if you see the word risk, any idea when you see the first idea that comes to your mind when you see the word risk? Just
Possible dangers.
yes, danger. What else? Anyone else? Danger.
Weakness.
Things
Weakness.
that can go wrong.
Yes, run events. Anyone?
Vulnerabilities.
¿Cómo fue eso? What is that?
Vulnerabilities.
Vulnerability. Wow, vulnerability. That's very
Something that could lead to something undesirable.
absolutely. The last part, undesirable. Something that you don't decide undesirable. So that something that lead to something that you don't want to happen. Yes, 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 yes. So for the exam, and I love those inputs. Anyone else? And then check the chat. The first is when I breaking out. So thought out very well said. Now that's not now. Mr. George. Yes. 9:30. All right. Okay. So risk, something that I learned just in CAPM class is that risk, it's an uncertain event that if happen, you can have a positive or negative impact. So I was surprised, very surprised. What? The risk in project management, it can be positive. Oh my goodness, I didn't know that. Or negative. So in my mind, every single risk event was something bad. Risk, bad. But they said that you and me as project managers, we need to be focused on positive risks to increase the benefits and the benefits and the value of the project. And you need to ask for help for the bad things, like getting a insurance. You can transfer the risk. That's not my opinion. So I was, So now when I learned agility, they said that risk 100% are negative. So I don't want to confuse you. Traditional said that it could be positive or negative. So having said that, you see, it's something like, wow, I was not expecting that in risk management for the CAPM. So at the end of this chapter, we'll be talking about the risk processes. I don't want to lie, no quiero mentir, but we are not touching the 7 processes in this class. Those are too many. We're touching 5, right? Identify the key documents in project risk management. I love that because we're going to see the specific artifact that we need in risk management. Number 3, we're going to talk about the risk responses strategies. I love it because now I know the possible events, but now what can I do if that happened? So we're going to learn that the PMI, it's ready. PMI said that those are the things that you need to do if 1, 2, 3 type of things happen. So everything is done. The only thing you need to do is just adopt those ideas. And some calculations, very simple calculations that we're going to do. I don't know if team number 2, if you want to say something about risk management, it's optional because I know I didn't give you time to go and synchronize with your team. But team number 2, you got something to say about this topic, Miss Pamela, Miss Jules, about project risk processes?
I can add something.
Or you can just read the process and that's it. That will be fine.
Okay. Yeah.
Maybe. Okay.
So we have project risk processes. Plan risk management, identify risks, perform qualitative risk analysis, perform quantitative risk analysis, plan risk responses, implement responses, monitor risk.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So having said that, as you can see, it's a lot of processes, but I need to be honest. We don't care about this one. I don't care about that. It's too many details. It's very complicated, a lot of formulas and stuff that are not, absolutely are not part of the CAPM exam. So we don't need to perform quantitative risk analysis, thank God. So having said that, thank you so much. Team number 2. Good job. Reactions, we're almost done. Only 20 more minutes and we're finished. So reactions, Mr. George, Mrs. Sam, Miss Larissa, Miss Pamela. Reactions. Thank you. Miss Pamela, listen, I love it. Like another, like a brown color, thumbs up. I love it. All right, so planning, identify risk, perform qualitative risk analysis, quantitative risk analysis, risk responses, I love it. This is beautiful, this part. And implementing responses. And last but not least, controlling, monitoring and controlling risk. Planning, what is that? Defining risk. Approach is defining how we will be managing the rest of the processes. Identify risk, that is very clear. If you see the name of this process, it's already said. It's there. It's identifying what possible events can happen. That it's straightforward. It's list the potential risk events. We need to constantly update this list. And of course, we need to create this artifact, which is the risk register. All right, this is number 2. Number 3, what has Alice said? What is number 3? Number 3, turning us. Yes, Miss Pamela, you said that, turning uncertainty into control. Wow, I love that. I love it. It's just taking control of the events and control them. Yeah. Okay, performing qualitative. Let's say what is that? It's understanding what is the impact and the probability of each one of these potential events. Lise, pero I don't want to calculate a lot of numbers. You said that we don't need to calculate this. Yes, because it's not mathematical calculations. It's just about, you will see like very logical analysis that you will see how cool it's going to be because it's qualitative. I'm not talking about quantitative. So qualitative, it's easier. It's easier and cheaper. Cheaper, más barato. It's easier. We are going to create a matrix to represent impact and probabilities. Very cool, very easy, very nice. And of course, we are going to update the risk register. Okay, I'm going to skip quantitative risk analysis. I don't want to touch that. However, I'm going to speak a little bit about the responses. So we have a set of action items for the negative risks. When you see a negative risk, I think Ms. Lisette mentioned threats. So in Spanish, it's amenazas, something negative. However, when you see positive risk, another name for positive risks are opportunities. So this is bad and this is good. You see, so weird. Now that I know the set of action items, I can move to the next process, which is implementing the actions after one of these events happened. That's it. It's implementing the responses. And monitor and control, it's keep track of risks, responses, new risks, and workarounds. All right. 10 more minutes until finished. This is introduction is enough. So when you see risk for the CAPM exam, this is a academic definition. This is like a formal professional definition. As I was mentioning during the introduction of the topic, that project risk, and I want to ask a volunteer to read because I'm talking too much. Let me ask Miss Pamela, can you help me reading the definition of risk if you're available, of course.
Project risk. It's an uncertain event or condition that, if it occurs, can have either a positive or negative effect on the project objectives, such as scope, schedule, costs, and quality.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So as you can see, this is a formal definition. That's it. I don't want to go deeper. It is what it is. This is the definition. When we're talking about agility, and I'm going to take this part of the conversation, it's because agile approaches make use of frequent reviews, boom, 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 boom. Here, the sprints, sprint number 1, sprint number 2, sprint number 3. Agile approaches make use of frequent reviews of incremental work products to ensure that risk it's understood and managed. So I just said that we need to approach and analyze risk frequently. So you see, that's why you don't need to make like a lot of meetings and conversations with agility, because you have a meeting every day. So one of the topics that you can speak every day is any risks every day, any risk today. So you see, that's why I love agility. Okay, the risk, it's identified, analyzed, and managed during each iteration. So you see, during each one of those cycles, you'll be working with risks analysis. The work may be reprioritized as the project progresses based on an improved understanding of the current risk exposure. So everything is going to change in agility. So don't worry, you will see the risks are changing, are also changing. So you are going to adapt your backlog and your work based on this updated list of things or possible events. So don't worry, in agility, you need to plan more than in traditional and still good. That is agility. All right. This is something that it's you can know exactly based on your experience. You can say, okay, let's say, based on my experience, I can create a known list of possible events because you have a couple of experience in that type of industry. Pay attention. However, because you know that, you can estimate the cost of that event. And the name of that cost, it's reserve analysis. Remember that I explained that in cost management. So you need to include the cost of the non-risk on your baseline. That is a question for the exam. Absolutely. Non-risks, you can estimate, you can identify, you can analyze, you can manage the things that you probably can happen. So that's why you need to put the estimates as part of the baseline, cost baseline. However, what happens, listen, if I have no idea about those type of things that can happen, those are the unknown risks. This is another category. So this is not my responsibility. This is a management responsibility. So in this case, what can I do, Lucy? Thank you for asking. You're going to escalate that specific situation to the management level, to the executive team, to the vice president of the company, and say, hey, I didn't see that, so I didn't put that in my budget. So please, I need you to approve this, and this resource. Okay, let me ask you, is that clear? Known risks is my responsibility, but unknown risk is not my responsibility. And the chat, I need number 2. Okay, that is clear, listed. Number 2, put number 2, that is clear. Known and unknown. Thank you, Miss Larissa. Thank you, Miss Jones. Thank you, Mr. George. Okay, all right. Okay, that is clear. Known and unknown risks. And this is the last part that I'm going to present today because it's 48, 2 more minutes. When you see risk management, you need to identify not only the event, but the 3 factors. What does that say? If you want to describe very professional the risk event, you need to put number 1, the name of the event, risk event. Number 2, the probability. And number 3, the impact. Listen, but I don't know the impact. I'm not an expert in every single discipline. I don't know what to do. That's why you have a team. You need to have a conversation with each one of the experts. So marketing team member will tell you, let's say in terms of marketing, these are the possible events. If you have another team member from IT, they're going to tell you, hey, listen, in terms of IT, those are the risks. So for each one of those disciplines, remember you are the leader of a cross-functional team. You are going to have the input. So that's why you need leadership, so they can say, yes, listen, I have time for you and have this meeting with you. So risk event, example, machine breakdown. Risk probability, how likely is to break down? This is part of the conversation with the expert. And they're gonna say, okay, listen, on the last project, broken down 1 time in 10 times used. So the probability is 10%. You see, you don't need to calculate the probability. That is not your expertise. That's why you have expert judgment. You have qualified employees or qualified team members. You have experts of each one of the disciplines. So don't worry, just have this conversation with each one of those. Amount at stake, it's the impact. Okay, so let's say, based on my experience, I remember that it was 10% probability, but we pay to repair the machine $200. That's it. So you don't need to create the numbers. You don't need to reinvent the wheel. Just ask the right person. All right, that is risk management factors. So if I ask you, what are the 3 risk factors in risk management? The answer is number 1, risk events. Number 2, risk probability. And number 3, amount at stake. And the name that I put it in my notes, it's the impact. This is the impact. So those are the 3 factors of each one of the risk events that you will identify at the beginning of the process. Almost done. Okay, I'm going to stop here. Guys, I want to tell you that it was a pleasure for me to teach you today. I love you. Good night. And I see you Monday. Remember to do the ugly presentation using ChatGPT and the 3 inputs that I gave you. Any question before we finish, or just put number 10? Put in yes, un beso. I love those hearts, Miss Jules, in your reactions. Number 10, we are ready to go. Have a nice weekend. I'll see you on Monday and at 7 p.m. Mwah. I love you guys. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Have a nice weekend.
Have a nice weekend. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Bye. Bye, Miss Lisette. Love you. Mwah.